Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. As you know, we are discussing a feature which is released by UiPath to reduce our efforts and save our time, which is known as a solution management. Right? Here we are saving a lot of time and efforts simply by bundling different components in a single solution. After we have created that particular solution, then we can easily deploy that created solution from one tenant to another tenant. There is no need to map each individual asset, queue, jobs, storage bucket, or anything which is related to a process. You can directly create a solution and deploy it. In the first part of the tutorial, we have learned how we can bundle our components in a single solution and download that created solution on our local machine to deploy it in another tenant or orchestrator, right? Now, in the second part, we'll see how we can deploy that created solution to a different tenant or to a orchestrator. If you haven't watched the previous one, I'll provide a link above. Go and check it out. The first part of the tutorial, how we can create a solution and download it. Now, we have already created a solution and we have downloaded it into our local machine. So to deploy, what we'll do is we have developed our solution in the development tenant, and now we want to migrate that created solution from development tenant to the production one. I'll log in into the orchestrator, then navigate to the solution management. And once we are in the solution management, then we'll select the tenant. So now we have now by default development is selected. Now we'll select the production one because we want to migrate our code from development tenant to the production one. Now to deploy the created solution, we'll navigate to the packages, and here we can upload our created solution by simply clicking on the upload solution package. Once we clicked on the upload solution package, a window will open where I can select or drag and drop a particular solution that I have created. So I'll click on the add file and I'll select the solution that I have created. So in the previous video we have seen, like, we have created this demo YT version 1.0.0. This is our solution and we want to deploy it. So I'll click open and file will be ready to upload. Once the file is selected, then again we'll click on the upload. Now package is successfully uploaded. We need to wait for the status of the particular package to be changed from pending to ready. Once the status of the package is ready, then to deploy it, we'll click on the three dots available here. We'll simply click on the deploy package. Once we click on the deploy package, then we'll get information about the package, the current version, name, and everything. Once we check the version, then if you want to change the deployment name of your package, then you can, and select the folder where you want to publish. I want to publish the created solution in the shared one, so I have selected the particular folder as a shared. Then I'll click on continue. Once I click on the continue, the package that we have already created, it will be open. Before deployment, we need to validate whether we have added a correct credentials, correct assets, queues or not into the solution. So to validate that, we'll click on the validate button down here. Once we click on the validate button, now here you can see we got one validation error. So if I click on the validation error, so it says component test credential asset encounter credential password is mandatory for asset type credential. Okay. What this error means is we need to provide password to our credentials. So we have test credential asset, and when we want to deploy a particular solution into another tenant, so there might be a chances when we have certain credentials for development tenant, while development we use different credentials, and while production we have different one. So to give the accurate credentials before deployment, we need to provide username and the password. Now we'll click on the validate. After we have provided the credentials, we'll click on the validate. Now here you can see we got validation error 0 and we are ready to deploy. So after all the validation errors are checked, then we'll click on the deploy. Once we clicked on the deploy, then our solution is deployed into the production tenant. Now here you can see the solution deployment is in progress. Now the deployment is successful because the status of the package is changed from in progress to successful. Okay, now we'll go to the solution folders where we'll check whether our assets has been mapped or not. So now I am in a production tenant. Now here you can see we have created a solution folder demo YT, and in this one we can see we have test process, we have triggers. Now let's check whether queue is created or not. Here you can see we have test queue created, and let's check most important the assets. So now here you can see we have test boolean, test credential, test text. So all the assets, queues, our process is mapped to the production tenant. But one thing is remaining. Here you can see we got a column name as activated, and the status here we are getting is inactive. If you navigate to the solution folder and check for the triggers, now here you can see all the triggers are disabled, the queue trigger and the time triggers, right? So to enable those, what we do is we'll just go on the three dots available next to the our package and simply click on the activate deployment, and we need to provide a confirmation by providing the name of our package, and then we need to click on the deployment. The deployment is being activated. It will take some time. We'll refresh the page. Now here you can see we have status of the activated as active. Now we'll navigate to the solution folder and refresh the page. Now here you can see the triggers, time trigger and the queue trigger is enabled.